1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's go!
Hey, y'all, it's time for the Roger the Wild Child Show. Roger the Wild Child. Here we go again with another honky-tonk and kickin' episode of the Nashville edition of the Roger the Wild Child Show with your host, Roger the Wild Child, along with his sidekicks, musician Patrick James, diva rocker Tiana Woods, and radio disc jockey Kadie Daye. And want to know what's the nitty-gritty from Music City? Elise Harper has your Nashville music news. Yeehaw! Let's do this.
It's Roger the Wild Child Show!
All right, everyone. How y'all doing? It is Roger the Wild Child Show. And
hi, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
there we go. Hey. It's another
hey.
fun, exciting episode. And look who's back. It's Megan.
I'm back.
Yeah,
it feels
Megan.
so good to be back. Missed
Patrick
y'all.
is out. We miss you too. Patrick is out. Katie is out this week. So Megan said, you know what? I can handle both of them.
I'll take one for the team.
Absolutely. And we love having you take one for the team.
For sure.
So Megan has been joining me on the Love on the Rock show. We're still rocking that thing. And
Mondays at
she's actually
9.
Mondays at 9. And she's going to be a guest on my new podcast that I'm doing called Daisy's Shit Show Podcast on Tuesday night.
And I cannot
it's gonna
wait.
It's going to be a crazy episode. That's like a new podcast that I'm doing. So
Wow.
bear with me. I'm just...
Roger
So,
is
yeah,
a podcast master. That is just what's happening right now.
I know. I'm like juggling 3 podcasts. And not only am I just going to be doing that, I'm getting ready to launch relaunching my pirate radio station here in about
I'm
2
so
weeks.
excited.
Oh, wow. That's going to be great.
It's such
Megan's
a great
joining
station.
me on that as well. Yeah,
It's such a great station.
it is. And
Okay,
so we're
let
going
me
to bring
share
it back.
this. I'm trying to share the live.
Yep. So, and for those who are watching, please share the feed so we can build our audience up. We have an awesome show this evening. Let me tell you about this one here. Okay, so we do have Savannah Rae coming back on the show, and we're excited to have her join us. She's traveling, but she decided to take a time out and stop what she's doing so she could be on the show with us tonight. But first, we do have Ronnie McDowell's son, Tyler Dean, and he's here. We just launched a new song. We're going to talk about it and the backstory.
I'm so excited for that too.
Oh my gosh. It's going to be a crazy episode. You guys are going to want to stick around for this. We got a lot of great stories to talk about. So anyhow, without further ado, I think we should go ahead and bring them on.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Come on down, Tyler.
Come on down. All right, here we go. Let's bring on Tyler Dean. Wait a second here. Hello?
That was great.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's so cute.
I was
was
sitting
like,
here
"Oh,
waiting,
what?"
trying to figure out what I should do. And I was like, I've got a stormtrooper helmet. I've got the Mandalorian helmet. And I saw Grogu, he's got a movie coming out. So I was like, this is your main
Does he?
star right here. Yeah.
It is.
I didn't know that.
I love it.
I love him.
Well, it is wonderful to be here with you.
It's so great to have you.
Thank you.
I got something in my eye.
What's it like growing up in the footsteps of your father, Ronnie McDowell?
They're big footsteps.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Anytime I would go out on radio tour, when I was signed to Curb Records, many years ago, a long time ago,
11
in a
years old,
galaxy
right?
far. Yeah, actually, a day before my 11th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
What?
I got signed as Tyler Dean. My dad, he had a friend of his pitch me to Mike Curb. He didn't want there to be any bias. So um but for so I take a little pride in that. Like I don't like to
Mhm.
speak highly of myself, but I like knowing that I got the gig on my own. It's pretty
Yeah.
it
Absolutely.
made me
That's
feel good
something to
about what
brag
I was
on.
doing. Yeah.
That's
But
something to brag on.
well, I don't want to brag. I don't like egotistical egos and all that, but it still does make me feel good, that I went by Tyler Dean. But it did
Right.
create a little bit of a problem when I was going out on radio tour and stuff because people would ask me, what have you been doing all your life? And I had been on the road with my dad, and I couldn't really talk about that. So I would just say, nothing,
Mhm.
you know.
One day
And
I woke
that's
up and decided to do music, and then I got signed, and here I am.
yeah. Where have
There
you
you are.
been? Nowhere. Kind of. I honestly, I don't know how they expected me to address that. It was very,
Right.
Really.
very strange, and
Yeah.
definitely put me on a shaky foundation. Made me unsure of a lot of things,
Right.
and so there may be some talk out there that I didn't work as an artist when I was signed to Curb, like Tyler Dean, the brand didn't work, but I will always say that that wasn't me,
No
you know.
relation to Billy Dean, right?
No, or Jimmy Dean, the
That
sausage guy.
too. The sausage guy.
You should have started with that. You should be like, my dad was Jimmy Dean, and I was on a
Right.
sausage bar my whole life.
I'm told that I met him and that he was very nice to my dad. So,
Oh.
but yeah, so that's one of the reasons why when that chapter of my life closed, I decided to embrace my family heritage. And of course, that comes with its own set of controversies, I guess, for lack of a better term, because people will inevitably say that I'm trying to fit in those footsteps or ride on my dad's coattails. But I'm definitely me. I can be no one else. I'm not going to try to be anybody else but myself. And even when I did my version of Older Women, which I released back in 2021, it was a remake of my dad's first number one record. Even when I did that,
And you
it
made it your
wasn't.
own.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we and I didn't do it alone. I went to my producer, Stacy Hogan. It was something that I had wanted to do for years, and I always thought like if ever I get to a certain level, where I'm a little bit of a household name, I was like, I want to remake my dad's song "Older Women." But the label had let me go, and I was fortunate enough to cross paths with a lovely lady down in Florida, Barbara Hart, who believed in me and what I was trying to do. She asked me, she said, "What do you want to do?" And at that point in my life, I didn't really want to do anything. I had kind of given up. And I think she knew that, and she looked at me. Most of the time, Miss Barbara, it was hard to get her to focus on things, but that night she was really focused right on me, and she said, "What do you want to do?" And I told her some things, and told her about making a remake of my dad's song "Older Women," and she said, "Well, I'm going to let you do that." And we worked together. Unfortunately, she has since passed away. But if it wasn't for
Oh.
her, that song and that video wouldn't exist. So,
Mhm.
and it wasn't trying to ride on my dad's coattails. It was an attempt to kind of take the limelight and turn it back on him because I knew if it succeeded with
Right.
me, then it would only shine the light back on him, which he definitely deserves.
Mhm.
Oh, that's absolutely
That's awesome.
beautiful.
It is. And just so that everybody knows that if you guys want to hop in the chat, comments or whatever, you can be able to say hi to Tyler or ask any questions. If you're on YouTube, just
Except
go into
about
the
that time
chat.
in Guatemala. I don't talk about that.
Right, right. We're not talking about that, Tyler. Okay. And then also on Facebook, you could go into comments and you guys can feel free to ask away to Tyler. But we're talking about older women. I have the song queued up. I think we should go ahead and play it.
Can I?
Yeah.
I don't have to listen to it, right? I don't want to. listen to me.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Like, la
You
la
can, yeah.
la la la.
You can go ahead and
Okay,
go on
I do.
mute.
I do. Well, I guess we could talk about it afterwards. I was going to say one other thing, but y'all go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, on Diana Baston Miller on Facebook says hi, Tyler. She's
I
also
love
said hi
Diana.
to everyone. Thank you, Diana.
Hello.
Jason Kranz on Facebook says, or what about that time in Tijuana?
In my defense, he was a very pretty woman.
Emily on YouTube says, love Tyler. So
I love you too, Emily. She's been a supporter of my dad's and mine for a long time.
awesome. All right, let's go ahead and play a little bit of Older Women.
Older women are beautiful lovers. Older women, they understand. I've been around some, and I have discovered that older women know just how to please a man. Oh, everybody seems to love those younger women from 18 on up to 25. I love them too, but I'm telling you, learning how to really love takes a little time. Older women are beautiful lovers. I said older women, they understand. I've been around some, and I have discovered that older women know just how to please a man. So baby, don't you worry about growing older. Those young girls ain't got one thing on you. No, they don't, girl. 'Cause it takes some living to get good at giving. Giving love is just where you could teach them a thing or two. Older women are beautiful lovers. I said older women, yeah, they understand. I've been around some, and I have discovered that older women know just how to please a man. They ain't lost nothing, their eyes still sparkle and shine. They still got what it takes to drive us young boys wild. Are beautiful lovers. I said older women, they understand. Oh, yes they do. I've been around some, and I have discovered that older women know just how to please a man. Older women are beautiful lovers. I said older women, yeah, they understand. But I've been around some, and I have discovered that older women know just how to please a man. Oh yeah, older women know just how to please a man.
What an awesome song. You totally made it your own.
Thank you. Boy,
Oh,
watching that brings back so many memories. It's crazy.
wow.
Jennifer Phillips on Facebook says, my husband always rolls his eyes when I sing this song around the house. He says, you're only a year older than me. It doesn't count.
No, actually, hey, you know what? A lot of people forget the song was actually written by Jamie O'Hara, and his girlfriend was like 38 and he was 32 or something like that. So the song is also about women who are older than you. So
Mm.
uh, I did get people were coming up to me and saying like, "Why didn't you choose a real old woman for?" And I was like, "Well, she was, in her late 40s, and Kelby was just early 20s, So
Yeah.
to him, she was an older woman."
Yeah. Heather Webster on Facebook says, hi, Tyler.
Howdy, Heather.
Now,
Yes, we
because
got
you
the fan
released
base.
that song, how many of your fans are actual older women now?
Right?
Well, you know what? My dad tells this story all the time, so now I'm repeating his stories. But he talks about Conway and him standing backstage because my dad opened up for Conway for almost 8 years,
Mhm.
and they were very close. And Conway was like a second dad to my dad. So they were standing backstage, and it was just them, and they were peering out through the curtain, and the audience was piling in. And back in those days, people don't they forget that Conway was selling out, 10,000, 20,000 seat arenas.
Mm-hmm.
So the crowd was piling in, and right there in the first few rows, it was a bunch of older women. And Conway looked at dad and he goes, you're going to inherit those one day. And so now by association, I think I have always had an older fan base.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
it's a problem too, because those older ladies, and I love them. They all know that they're like my road mamas, is what we call them. Um, they all try to hook me up with their daughters and granddaughters, but that's like a mother trying to hook their daughter up with a dude, like on a blind date. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they don't the younger generation doesn't want anything to do with me because their grandmothers are trying to tell them this boy's cute and hot. I'm
Like an
like,
arranged marriage.
yeah,
I got
it's
this guy
awful.
named Tyler. He's so cute and talented. You'll love him.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. And they never come to the show. I'm just like, come on.
Oh, wow. I love it. It's still all good. It's still all good.
But thank you for
Oh,
showing that, because I don't like
of
looking at
course.
me. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and I do all of my own editing and color grading and all of that. I direct all my stuff, and I have to stare at my face for weeks and months at a time,
Yeah.
and once it's over and done, I don't ever watch it again. So it's so interesting it's I hear actors talk about that. If they ever watch a movie that they were in, they remember what they were doing that day, like what it actually
Right.
looked like behind the camera. And there's just so many little stories, man. I'm so grateful for everyone who has always um everybody wears so many hats whenever we're doing these things. Like
Of
everybody pulls
course.
their weight. Everybody's doing so many different jobs, and I'm so grateful. And that day was a very stressful day for everybody, and I'm just so proud of what we were able to accomplish.
So I do want to shift gears for a minute because you have a new project that you um released just recently. Um,
Yes, sir.
it wasn't too long ago you were at Disney World filming a music video without Disney World knowing that you were filming a music video. How did you pull that off?
I'm just gonna leave right now. I keep telling everybody when they talk about it, I'm like, I'm expecting the guys in the black suits with little Mickey Mouse shaped badges showing up at my front door. Um, I'm well with it. I want everyone to know you're well within your right to film in the parks. And there are countless YouTube, listen to me justifying it. There are countless YouTube vloggers out there, one of which was actually in the older women music video, the bartender with the handlebar mustache. He
Oh,
is
really? Okay.
Really?
yeah, he's an infamous Disney YouTuber. His name is Tim. Tim Tracker, and we used to be good buddies. I'm glad that he's in the project. It still gets a laugh every time he gets in the camera and says, "Oh yes, they do."
That's
Hey,
great.
your friend and mine, Gary Bridges, he said he was wearing a Mickey costume.
Oh wait, I thought that was him in the Cinderella costume.
It might be. He
Oh,
does a
okay.
good Cinderella impersonation. So yeah,
He's gonna kill me later.
I know, right? So
Yeah, it was.
let's
Oh,
talk.
sorry. Go ahead, please.
No. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying, and then I'll make my comment.
Oh no, it's better. I can talk a million miles a minute. So go right ahead.
Okay.
Ask your questions, and I'll answer away.
Okay. All right. So you released a new song. It's called What Walt Would Say. Okay,
Yes.
and it's about Disneyland and how it's not, I guess, politically correct today as what Walt Disney would want Disney to be today. Is that the best way to say that?
Yes and no. It's I know a lot of people because I'm a lifelong Walt Disney fan. I won't say Disney fan. People know that I say there's a big difference between a Disney fan and a Walt Disney fan. A Walt Disney
Mhm.
fan admires the man, his ideals, his ability to make those dreams come true, and his methodology. There's a lot of mythology out there about Walt as well. And I think a lot of that stems from, well, two things. One, the Disneys were very private people, and they still are
Mhm.
to this day. And when tabloids can't find anything to write about you, they just make stuff up. The old myth that Walt's head is frozen somewhere, cryogenically frozen, that actually, the guy who wrote that article originally came out and said it was a joke. But, people just like to carry stuff on and they talk. Walt was actually cremated. So, a lot of the myths that exist, like I said, stem from the Disneys being very private people and media just needing something to talk about. So they would just make stuff up constantly. Walt, when he was alive, his studio actually hired more people of color than any other studio in Hollywood. Same goes for women. Walt had a small group of people around him, friends called the Nine Old Men. And I call her the 10th Nine Old Man. Her name was Leota Toombs, and then there was also Mary Blair. So if there was 11 of them, Mary Blair and Leota Toombs would have been right there. Um,
Mhm.
he hired them and was very close to them. So, like I said, there's a lot of misnomers about him. Now, the political correctness stuff you touched on, I think a lot of people think my issue with the company is their political ideologies and stuff. And first and foremost, I think that you're an entertainment company and you just need to entertain.
Mhm.
Don't even, my dad, he's always said, don't, stay out of politics. Like Elvis said, you're a singer, be a singer. And so I think the Walt Disney Company could benefit from adopting that mantra as well. But my issue was how they handle the parks. If Walt was alive today, he would be very disappointed with some of the decisions they've made. And people come up to me and they say, "Well, you don't know what Walt would want." And I don't claim to be a historian, but there is such a thing as historians, and they get their knowledge by research. And I have read
Mhm.
every single biography that's ever been written about Walt. I've talked to people who knew him personally, and I think that allows me and others to come up with a pretty good amalgamation of what he would think if he was here. And
Right.
one of them being he would be disappointed with them filling in the rivers of America in Frontierland in Magic Kingdom, uh, and replacing it with a Cars attraction, Disney Pixar Cars. So they're putting cars in the Old West. Um, and here's the thing. we know that if Walt was going to put cars in the Magic Kingdom, where he would put them, because he did put race cars in his Magic Kingdom. He put them in Tomorrowland, the Tomorrowland Speedway. He did not put them in Frontierland. So
Right.
to
Yeah.
say you don't know what Walt would do, it's like, well, we kind of do, you know? So yeah, that's one of the many reasons why I wrote the song.
So, what was it like dodging security or trying to not let security know what you were doing? Like,
They're at his door now. Everyone hide.
You know what? It wasn't really that I was nervous. I will say that. I was definitely nervous because
Mhm.
I anticipated them saying, "Hey, what are you doing?" It was just me and a good friend of mine, Travis Terrell. He was my director of photography that day. And we were so secretive. We being my producer, my cousin, who I work very close with, Chris. He's actually been on all of my records post Curb Records, and he was signed to Curb way back in the day as well. So he's an old road dog, but very talented, an incredibly talented songwriter. And we have worked together on all of these projects. Come to Nashville, Older Women, What Walt Would Say, and you know, Chris, he's not a huge Disney fan. He didn't grow up going to the parks like I did, but he just kind of trusted my instinct, and he was like, "Okay." So he listened to me and sat down, and we hammered it out all in one night. And
Mhm.
it was really only him, me, my dad, and my producer who knew what we were doing. And we were the only ones who had heard the song. And I didn't even let Travis, my DP down in Florida, listen to the song. He had no idea what we were doing. He just trusted me. And I had written out a shot list for him. And I was like, this is kind of what I want to grasp. And I think he was starting to get it like halfway through the day, like what we were doing, because while I wasn't singing out loud, I was kind of mouthing the words and whatnot. And luckily, me and Travis are on the same page, so he was all for it once he found out what it actually was.
Yeah. And I guess you and one other person are the only two people that have produced a music video inside the Disney compounds. Is that right?
The Carpenters, I do believe. I can't remember what song. And my buddy Josh, who used to work for the Walt Disney Archives, he's an incredible talk about a historian. I mean, that guy, he knows. My dad says I know anything and everything there is to know about Walt Disney. I know a lot, but nothing like my buddy Josh. And he was the one who told me that. He said, man, he said, and he's also trying to do this campaign about Save the Magic Kingdom, trying to prevent Disney from filling in the rivers of America and Frontierland. And
Mhm.
he was the one who messaged me and said, do you realize you're one of only two people now who's filmed a music video in the Magic Kingdom? And it's you and the Carpenters. And he told me what song, but I can't remember.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. Now that the song has been released, have you heard from Disney?
I haven't, and I'm kind of disappointed because I really wanted that cease and desist so I could frame it and hang it on the wall. I wanted acknowledgement that the company knew me and recognized me, and the first time they ever said my name on a piece of paper with Mickey right up there in the corner would be a cease and desist. That would be great. One of the biggest Walt Disney fans on the planet, and I get a cease and desist. It'd be awesome.
What kind of okay, so I gotta say, I've never been to Disney. I've been to Universal. I've never been to Disney
All
World.
right, interview is over.
You haven't been to
No,
Just
no,
kidding.
no, no. We're
I'm
going.
just
We're
kidding.
going
I'm kidding. I'm
to.
kidding. Please
But
don't. Not right now. Don't go.
what places did you go to in that video? Like what are we seeing in there?
Okay, so for those who don't know, I'll elaborate a little bit. If you go back, you can do it right now after this interview is over. You can go to YouTube and watch the original openings of the Disneyland television show, Wonderful
Mhm.
World of Color. And in most of the intros, they talk about the main lands of Disneyland. You know,
Okay.
Adventureland, Frontierland, Fantasyland, and Tomorrowland.
Okay.
And the narrator would often describe what those lands are. And his description of Frontierland was tall tales and true from the legendary past. That doesn't include Tow Mater and Lightning McQueen, you
No,
know.
it doesn't.
And you could say, you could say, well, they didn't exist then. It's like, well, no, but Walt had other properties then, and he didn't. That was for the Old West. That it was
Hmm.
when he said Disneyland was about the hard facts that created America. That's what he was referring to, the
Hmm.
history side of
Right.
America. And I think
Hmm.
personally that's why Disney's trying to get rid of it. But that's another conversation for another time.
Hmm.
So in Frontierland, there is a large river called the Rivers of America and a Mississippi stern wheeler. That's what Walt called it, an old paddle ship. In Disneyland, it is the, oh no, I shouldn't have even brought this up. Josh is really going to kill me now. The Liberty Bell in Magic Kingdom. I know it's the Mark Twain. I think it's the Mark Twain.
Okay.
Okay, I think I did it. See, I'm not a huge Disneyland guy, even though it's Walt's park. I grew up going to Magic Kingdom, so not as versed on my Disneyland history as I am Magic Kingdom. But it is that river that they're filling in and getting rid of, and that Mississippi sternwheeler. So obviously, I wanted to do a majority of it on that boat.
Right. Right.
But when we started very early, Travis picked me up at my Airbnb at like 7 o'clock in the morning. We got to the park, and the sun, the way it was shining across the lake and into the train station, I said, let's go ahead. Like nobody's up there. I said, let's just go ahead and go in the train station and knock that out. So we spent a lot of time in that train station. And then as we made our way to Frontierland, and I talked about this in another podcast, another live stream. I'm so glad it happened because I will always remember. I have a terrible memory, but I will always remember the day that we shot, or I can always remember because when we got to Frontierland, they have been having, and personally, the Walt Disney Company has a history of letting things rot and get in disarray so that way they have an excuse to get rid of it. Currently they've got an attraction called Dinosaur at Disney's Animal Kingdom Park, and they're letting it fall apart because they want the guests to go, well, I'm glad they're getting rid of this. So
Oh wow.
yeah, it's pretty dark. And I mean, they were drilling holes in the logs of Splash Mountain so that way it would fill with water and then the guests would get submerged and then the guests would go, well, I'm glad they're changing this ride.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's not like conspiracy, that's fact.
Right.
Oh wow.
So they said that there has been these sewage leaks in Frontierland, bubbling sewage coming up out of the ground. Uh, and one of the days where this happened was the day we were shooting at Magic Kingdom. And they shut down Frontierland and we could not get on the Liberty Bell.
Oh dang.
No.
Yeah. So I made an executive decision and I told Travis, I said, let's go to Tomorrowland and get on the People Mover and we can just go around
The
and
people mover.
I can actually sing. It's called it was originally called the Wedway People Mover, designed by Walt's team, WED, which stood for Walter Elias Disney. And they used to have one in Disneyland and they got rid of it. That's a long story. You can look that up. But fans have been trying to get Disney to fix the People Mover in Disneyland for forever. So I was like, you know what? It's kind of like a subliminal message. They're not fixing the People Mover at Disneyland either. So it worked out.
Mhm.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I gotta
Surprised
ask,
you didn't
what's
go
your
on-
favorite Disney movie? Real quick.
Well, okay, that's a loaded question.
Really?
What classic Disney movie or like 1990s or modern?
Of all time.
Oh, I don't do
You-
that. I can't do it all
Classic.
time. I
Classic.
can't. Okay. Well, I could say right off, I'll say this. I'll do it this way. I'll say right off the top, I would say Beauty and the Beast. It was the first animated
Ooh, I like you.
yeah, it was the first animated feature to be nominated for Best Picture, which a lot of people don't know that. And
Right.
Walt was very, he was always making decisions, he was always changing things. And just from all the research I've done, I believe that Beauty and the Beast it would be very interesting to listen to him, like show him all these movies. Like I would love to let him see Emperor's New Groove just to
Mhm.
see what he would, because if he would get the jokes and stuff. But I think Beauty and the Beast and maybe Lion King are
Those are
two
my
of the
2
films.
favorites.
I think those are the two films that
They're
he
in my
wouldn't
head.
have a lot.
What?
I'm sure he would surprise me, but those are the two movies that I don't think he would have a lot of notes on. Um, so I would say definitely Beauty and the Beast, probably in the 90s. That would be one of my favorites of the 90s. Classic Disney, like when Walt was alive. I'm a huge Peter Pan fan. When I was a kid,
Oh,
I
good
loved Peter
choice.
Pan.
Oh yeah.
Good
But
choice.
but my
Uh-huh.
dad always loved Lady and the Tramp. And I like Lady and the Tramp. I mean, I do. Uh or I did, I should say. I liked it. But then when I got older, I watched it again. And as a filmmaker, I was like, oh, this is a well executed film. Like it's well written, it's well paced, the characters are good. So it's a toss up probably between Lady and the Tramp and Peter Pan. And
Okay.
modern, hands down, Tangled. Tangled beats Frozen 100%.
Hey, you know what? I
That's
have your
awesome.
song queued up.
Oh, okay. All right.
Your the Walt song, and I think everybody is wanting to watch it.
Okay.
And you guys, check
Just
it out.
imagine me sweating bullets and freaking out, my anxiety like through the roof while we're doing this.
You guys blow up the comments, and while you're watching this, let us know what you think of this music video. Here we go.
Strolling down Main Street, just don't feel the same. There's a change in the wind, and we know who to blame. Bob, what are you thinking? This ain't what he planned. Do you think you got his world in your hand? Walt's vision's hazy in the rear view mirror. They say keep moving forward, but we're just getting nearer to all the mistakes that you try to paint blue. Tomorrow ain't looking great, we all blame you. Bob, what are you thinking? There'd be tears in his eyes. Disney's world sinking under corporate lies. I wish upon a star for one more magical day, and for you to hear what Walt would say. The Polynesians looking like a Holiday Inn. You got pirates buying treasure. I pray for Jose and friends. Trader Sam is homeless, 'cause he don't fit in. The river's running dry, here we go again. Bob, what are you thinking? There'd be tears in his eyes. Disney's world sinking under corporate lies. I wish upon a star for one more magical day, and for you to hear what Walt would say. Once upon a time, Walt made dreams come true, but it's all profits, now the magic's through. I ain't had a zippity-doo-dah day since you boarded up the laughing place. Bob, what are you thinking? There'd be tears in his eyes. Disney's world sinking under all of your lies. We wish upon a star for one more magical day, and for you to hear what Walt would say. Oh, what Walt would say.
Wow, that was amazing.
I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you how many times I have watched that video. It
Thank you
just
very
like
much.
Diana,
screams.
Oh,
It speaks so loudly.
Thank
That
you.
Diana on Facebook says, I
phenomenal.
love the song and video. I always say it's very powerful.
It
Thanks,
is.
Diana.
It is.
I have a little story for you, Tyler. So, my adopted grandpa was one of the original Disney animators. And when I was little, I said, "Hey, did you ever meet Walt Disney?" And he was like, "Well, one time I did." And I said, "What was it like? What happened?" And he goes, "I was late for work one day and my car broke down. And I was hitchhiking on the side of the road, and Walt Disney pulled up in his car
No.
and rolled down the
No
window
way.
and said, 'Excuse me, sir, do you need a ride?'" And my grandpa, of course, knew it was his boss. And he said, "Oh, no, thanks. No, thank you." And rolled up the window and Walt drove away. And I said, "Well, how come you told him no?" And he said, "I didn't want to get fired. I was late for work."
But it was going to be extra late for work.
Exactly. So he was afraid that if he took the ride, that Walt would find out that he was one of the animators and get fired. So he didn't want to get
Oh,
fired.
That
So
Jesus.
actually would have been really funny. He would have been like, "Hey,
That's
where do you
funny.
work?" It's like,
yeah,
well,
but it's
actually, sir.
yeah, it's really great because it shows the character of Walt Disney and the kind of man he was. Pulling up in his nice fancy car and asking a
Mhm.
total stranger, "Hey, do you need a ride?"
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, he was
yeah.
that's
he
crazy.
was a very, very kind person. A lot of people confuse boss Walt, the guy who was your boss in the studio,
Mhm.
from and that was just a person who knew what he wanted, and he hired you to do a job, and he expected you to do it.
Right.
And 9 times out of
Yeah.
10, if you're somebody working for an entertainment company, you yourself have creative ideas and you want to be Walt. One of his good friends, and I can't remember his name, he was leaving over a debacle or something like that. And Walt was trying to convince him to stay. He was like, "Is there anything I can do to convince you to stay?" Of course, I'm paraphrasing. And the guy said, "Well, the only job worth having here is your job." And
Oh,
Walt said, "Yeah, and unfortunately, it's filled."
It's my
So
job.
yeah. So, but Walt was very stern, and he told people what to do, like, and how, not how to do it, because he hired you to do the job, but he expected you to do it. But then Walt himself, a lot of people don't know that he refused to go to the premiere of Song of the South in Atlanta because they wouldn't let the star James Baskett, who played Uncle Remus, in the theater because of the
Mm.
ridiculous laws set in place back then. But Walt refused. He was like, I'm not going in there if he can't go in."
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
it was actually Walt who called the Academy and said, "You guys are cowards if you don't recognize this man's talent. He's one of the most talented men actors to be discovered in years." So Walt
Yeah.
was a very good dude.
mhm.
All right. So Jennifer Phillips on Facebook says it's possible that I'm responsible for at least 250 of the YouTube views of what Walt would say. I am a nursing student with a study playlist. So with how long I study, it gets listened to a lot.
It's awesome. Thanks,
Oh,
Jennifer.
Excellent.
That's
So,
awesome.
Tyler, I really do appreciate you. I know we're running over a little over time. I got
Sorry,
the
I'm a
man in the
talker.
green room.
I'm my father's son, so I apologize.
No, 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 you're totally good. But oh my gosh, I love your music. You're very talented.
Loved it.
Thank you.
And you know, and you speak volumes when it comes to your music. And it's just,
I
you
could
know what?
listen to you tell me facts about Disney endlessly.
I'm glad somebody wants to
I
listen.
never
Thank
in a
you.
million years knew the facts you said. I am in awe. I love it.
Well,
I love
thank you.
it.
Y'all are very kind.
and
Thank
you
you
have
for
to come
being
out to
here.
LA and go to Disneyland. I mean, I
I
know it's probably a
Yeah.
letdown for Disney World, but
No, no, I love Disneyland. I stood on the Columbia. I believe it's the Columbia, the pirate ship that they have going around the river, and
oh
I could see Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Pirates of the Caribbean, the Haunted Mansion, Splash Mountain at that time, And I instantly got what they always say is like there's this feeling there, and it feels so
Hmm.
intimate and
Mhm.
real because it's Walt's Park. So I completely understood. And I do want to say real quick that if there are any Disneyland fans watching, or if you guys are watching, a Disneyland fan, um, your Rivers of America is also at risk. So if they fill the one in Florida, they're probably going to do it in California as well. So keep that in mind. Share the
Oh
song.
wow.
Get the
I'm gonna
news
share
out
it.
there.
I'm sharing it.
Thank
Yeah.
y'all.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you, Tyler.
No, thank y'all. Anytime.
All
Have
righty.
a good night.
All right, we'll
Hi,
talk
See
soon.
you.
Tyler. Great to meet
Bye,
you.
yeah. Bye, ladies.
Awesome. Man, he's just so real. I just love,
He is.
yeah, I mean,
His
his
facts
music.
were
He did his
Oh,
research.
yes.
right. That's
Yes.
He def-
nuts.
And I'm biased. My
Bro.
favorite Disney movie is The Princess and the Frog because I'm Tiana.
I'm not even kidding. My two all-time favorite movies are Beauty and the Beast and Lion King.
I love
Hands
The Lion
down,
King too. Yes.
yes, without question.
Chelsea on YouTube says, Land is my favorite.
Oh,
Land? Okay.
So
That was cool.
anyhow, we have another awesome guest. She's no
Disney
what's
expert.
the word? No, no.
Hey, you
She
never know.
is a regular to our
True.
show. She was been a guest. She's also was on last year's Roger the Wild Child show live in Nashville. I'm excited to have her back because this girl is blowing up. Okay. And please bring her back. We're going to bring her back on. She's no stranger to the show. Please welcome Savannah Rae. Hello, Savannah.
Hi.
Hey, Savannah.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet
So
you
good to
guys.
see you again.
So good to see you.
How are you?
Doing good. How are you? How's everybody doing?
Good.
We are doing
Making it through
awesome.
Wednesday.
And thank you for sticking around in the green room a little bit longer. I'm sorry that the interview lasted longer than expected, but
Oh no, you're totally fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just chilling over here drinking my lemonade. So
that's all right. I got my water, so you can't.
we're all
Mountain Dew.
good.
Yeah. So anyway, Savannah, I know you're on the road right now, and you what are you settling in for the night?
Yeah, gonna get some food after this and probably go to bed. I have an early flight tomorrow. We're headed out to Texas, doing a few shows out there. So pretty excited.
Fun.
You're based out of San Antonio, is that right?
Yeah, I'm actually based out of Nashville now. I'm from San Antonio though. So I have a show in San Antonio and then we're playing the Austin Rodeo on Friday.
Fun.
Oh, okay.
That's neat.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
San
I know last
Antonio
year
has
you
the
were doing-
best food.
Do they? I've heard that.
Yes, they do. Amen.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I miss it.
Next.
I mean,
Woo!
Nashville food is good, but it's not the same as back home. So I miss it a lot. So whenever I go back, which will be tomorrow, I'm gonna get some good Tex-Mex.
Mm.
Oh, there you go. Now I know you did the Houston rodeo last year.
Yeah. Did the Houston rodeo? Actually, did all three of the big Texas rodeos. We did Houston, Austin, and San Antonio, and then this year as well. And I spent like almost a week out at the San Antonio rodeo, so that was really fun. So got to
Oh
be
my
home for a
goodness.
little bit and play a bunch at the
That's
rodeo.
always nice.
Yeah.
That's
Super
always
nice.
nice.
And I missed you in December in Vegas at Old Red.
Yes. Yeah. We they told us literally like the day before we were supposed to leave. They're like, "Hey, we double booked you guys." It's like, "Oh, okay." So didn't go out there, but that's okay. Next time.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
you didn't go.
Yeah, I didn't go at all. Yeah. They told us that they double booked us. So I was like,
no.
okay,
Oh, wow.
yeah, but
Okay,
it's okay.
and that was like your birthday week, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, I think we were actually supposed to play on my birthday.
Hmm.
But you may be coming back to Vegas soon, is what I hear.
Yeah, hopefully. So we'll see what we can wrangle up. Hopefully we can book a few dates. I know Old Red is a really good place. I've played there multiple times before and I really like it out there. So
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
So let's talk about what you're doing now.
Mhm.
You've since you've been on the show last, you've definitely toured a lot more places. You've
Right.
got a lot more new projects going on. So let's talk about what Savannah Rae is doing today.
Sure. Well, I've been just kind of been in the studio a lot, kind of writing and recording as much as I possibly can. Because, like you said, last year we were doing a lot of touring and a lot of shows. We were on the road for probably like 200 days out of the year, probably 275, I think is what we clocked it at. So, like, that's a lot of time, and there's not
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
a whole lot of time to write music in that. When you're on the road, and I drive most of the time. I drive the bus, so therefore, if I'm driving for 8 hours a day, I don't want to go
You
and write.
drive the bus.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I whenever I get to a hotel room, I don't want to go and write. I just want to go to bed. And
Mhm.
so
Hmm.
I was like, okay, we need to take the first few months of 2025 and really, hone in on the music and get stuff going and stuff so that, I actually have something to promote while I am on
Right.
the road. So that's what we've
Yeah.
been doing, and trying to get my ducks in a row there, even though I'm still kind of traveling and touring every so often. So we make it work, though. We make it work.
So what's your favorite spot that you've played at?
Ooh,
Not that
favorite.
all places aren't great, but that one spot you're like,
Yeah. So funnily enough, okay, I probably have two answers. So number one will always and forever be Green Hall, which is just like my favorite place ever. That's just the best place in Texas. It is the most popular place in Texas. So
outside of Austin.
yeah, it's kind of actually in the middle between Austin and San Antonio. Yeah, it's
Okay.
in a place called Green, Texas. And so that's obviously it's a famous big Texas staple, and especially being from Texas, that's kind of like our pinnacle is Green Hall. So love
Hmm.
that place, of course. And then number two would actually probably be I love playing in Wisconsin. Wisconsin
Oh.
fans are unlike any other fans I've ever seen.
Really?
They love country music up there. It is so fun. Yeah, my first show in Wisconsin, we were opening for Jason Aldean at a country fest, and oh my gosh, they were rabid over there. And I asked somebody, I was like, why are y'all kind of crazy? And he was like, well, we only get like 3 good months, like good weather months out of the year. So we take advantage of those summer
That
months.
totally makes sense.
Ah.
And then he was also like, and we like to drink. So alcohol and the 3 good months. I was like, okay, well, I get it. And so after that, we started going to the Spooner Rodeo every year, which is kind of a small city in Wisconsin, but it's just we last year we actually sold it out 2 nights, so it was just so much fun. So Wisconsin is probably one of my favorite places to play.
Okay.
And they are beer drinkers up in Wisconsin too.
Oh,
So I do know that because I'm from Illinois. So I know,
Yes, yeah,
they're
I have
cheddarheads and they love their beer.
yeah, cheese and beer, and that's pretty much Wisconsin.
That sums it all
pretty
up.
accurate.
I love it.
So for the people that don't know you, that are new to the show, let's talk about how you started, how you broke into the music scene.
Sure.
So you started young, right?
Very young. Yeah. So I started probably I had my first full band show when I was 12 years old. And so I'm 26 now. So it's been, more than half my life of performing and doing this whole crazy music thing. But I probably have to give the credit to my parents because they introduced me to music at such a young age. Everything. They let me listen to everything. But they specifically started taking me to concerts and festivals when I was around 10 years old. And I remember going to an Evanescence concert, and the lead singer of
Oh.
Evanescence, her name is Amy Lee. She's incredible. She has a fabulous voice. And so I was like, you know what? I want to do what she's doing, Mom. I want to be singing up there like she is. And my mom was like, okay, well, I mean, all right. And so my mom and dad took me seriously when I said that. And they enrolled me into vocal lessons and guitar lessons. And I just kind of fell in love with it. And then, like I said, my first full band show was when I was 12. And after that, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is what I want to do. And pretty much just kind of nonstop ever since.
Wow. 12. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I can't even imagine. That's one hell of an accomplishment. That's
Well, when I was 12, I that's when I broke into radio. I was like, well,
Really?
I found the passion. Yeah, because what happened was I called in a talk radio station and spoke to Ernie Banks, the baseball player.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I go, if I could talk to Ernie Banks, I could talk to anybody. And
Right.
so yeah, and then went to high school, they went ahead and had a radio program in high school. I'm like, no way, radio and TV. So I've been into broadcasting, and it's been my passion ever since. But yeah, I get
cool.
it. Yeah,
That's so cool.
So fun fact about me, though.
Same, just different.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I know you've been on the road. Do you have your guitar with you?
I do, yes.
Are you able to sing for us?
Sure. What do you want to hear?
What do you want to sing is the question.
I don't mind. Oh, y'all pick upbeat or slow.
Whatever
Either or.
tickles your fancy.
Guys. I was trying to throw it back on y'all.
Okay, let's do an upbeat song.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
Oh, man. Oh, whoa. I just went big screen.
Yes, you did.
All right. This one's called Dust Settles. So this is probably one of my favorites that I've released.
Okay.
I got plates from Texas and Tennessee. Makes it pretty damn hard to find me. People ask me where I'm going and where I'm gonna be. I always had a plan and a dream and a rusty old 6-string in my hand. 4 times to take me down the road to anything. Everybody tells me that I'll fail and just come back. Well, bless your heart, darling, I'm just not built like that. I'm a rolling stone, can't hold me down. The city every night, review town. Yeah, I drink my whiskey neat. Clever as the devil and twice as sweet. Pedal to the metal with shotgun shells. Getting into trouble, raising hell. A big tornado through your trailer park. I'm the gasoline and I'm the spark. I do all the stuff that you want. The dust settles, but I don't. I got more drive than a Cadillac. In a while, so ain't no looking back. Rather barbed wire than heart on fire than white picket fence. I ain't really into that ball and chain. We're tearing up, it sounds like Calamity Jane. Eventually, I'll stake a claim, but tonight I'm on my way. Got a lot of goals to hit and people to turn back. All that hometown talk and trash can't hear 'cause I'm long gone. I'm a rolling stone, can't hold me down. The city every night, review town. Yeah, I drink my whiskey neat. Clever as a devil and twice as sweet. Pedal to the metal with shotgun shells. Getting into trouble, raising hell. A big tornado through your trailer park. I'm the gasoline and I'm the spark. I do Everybody tells me that I fell and just come back. Bless your heart, darling, I'm just not built like that. I'm a rolling stone, can't hold me down. The city every night, review town. Yeah, I drink my whiskey neat. Clever as the devil and twice as sweet. Pedal to the metal with shotgun shells. Getting into trouble, raising hell. A big tornado, 3 trailer park. I'm the gasoline, and I'm the spark. I do all the stuff that you want. Yeah, I do all the stuff that you want. Yeah, I do all the stuff that you want. Yeah, I do all the stuff that you want. The dust settles, but I don't. Thank you.
Ah, wow.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
What a voice.
Thanks. Appreciate that, guys.
You know, you've always been a great talent. I love having you on the show here, and I
Thank you.
love having
Phenomenal.
that you come back and join us. And you know, you did a killer job on stage last year for the Roger the Wild Child show live, and you know, you, your dad, your family, you're like family to us. So
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, you know, for having me back all the time. And thank you so much, of course, you know, always for the support. I mean, it really means the world. I'm an independent artist, so we just we try our best out here. So all the support really, really does help. So thank you.
It was so good to see you again, Savannah.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, it was so great to finally meet you the first time.
Yes. Nice to finally meet you. Nice to see you guys.
all right, Savannah, I appreciate your time. I know you've been on the road. I don't want to keep you, but thank you again. And are you going to be in Nashville for CMA Fest?
Yes, I will be here for CMA Fest. Yeah.
All right, well, let's connect. Maybe I'll bring you back on the show again because we're going to be at the Troubadour on June 7th.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'd love to. Anytime. Like I said, anytime. Thank you so much.
All righty. All right, Savannah. Thank you so much.
Bye.
I love her. She's
Awesome.
so sweet.
Yeah, what a
She
sweetheart.
is the sweetest thing.
She really is. And she's
And,
so freaking
you know-
just boisterous. It's beautiful voice. Beautiful voice.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely. And so, and I was so happy to be able to, I knew that she was traveling, and I talked to her dad. I'm like, Robert, let's get Savannah on the show. It's been 1.5 years since I've had her on the show. And I
Yeah.
know she's done so much since. I'm like, all right, we're gonna do it.
I'm so glad she came on.
Great. Yep. So we had an amazing show. It was great. I wish Pat was here. I wish Kadie was here,
know.
but life happens. But of course,
I know.
Megan showed up today, and she's like, I missed doing the Roger the Wild Child show. I'm like, all right.
I've
you
missed
need
it
to
so
come back."
much.
We held down the fort for everyone.
Yes, we did.
Way to go. Y'all have been doing great.
So we'll be back on April 9th. We have Peyton Howie and Kirsty Krause that will be joining us. So Peyton is Texas country, so she'll be joining us on the show for sure. And then so we'll be off next Wednesday, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. So all right, everyone,
guys.
you guys have a great night. Thank you, Tiana and Megan.
You got it, Roger.
Have a good night, y'all.
All righty.
See you guys
Yeah.
next time.